Sorry, I'm not even allowed to say that word on an American show, am I? It's a bad word. Sorry.
Well, it's early on. It's early on.
But
No one's here yet.
is it not the stupidest thing ever?
Yeah, it's not great.
The World Games, one of the biggest tournaments. You ask any of the players, it's a highlight of their career to go to the World Games. It's like the Olympics for them at the moment.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a dozen players there that are
it was
world
one of
champions.
Darren Appleton's proudest moments was winning the World Games. It's happening now. Can we see any of it? No. Not even an idiot with a camera, with a camera phone showing any of it. It's ridiculous. Who's in charge of that? Can't believe we can't watch any of it.
I couldn't agree more. It is.
Who's in charge of it, Nate?
To be honest with you, I'm going to be honest with everybody out there right now. For the two people that are watching this, as you know, we didn't do a show last week. I released one on Monday, so it's kind of like we did a show, but we really didn't do a show. I've been swamped. I have been overwhelmed with a lot of different things, both with my private life, my personal life, as well as the podcast, and as well as the onboard stuff that I've been doing. For full disclosure, Alicia and I, my wife, we're looking at trying to buy a house right now. And it is a very overwhelming process, and we are working through it. And hopefully we get a message back today that says we've been approved for the amount of the loan that we need, and then we can go and make the official offer. But the last few weeks have been pretty hectic. So,
has it got a room for a pool table?
It's got room for 6 pool tables.
and he will suck on all of them.
He's going to get a 12-foot snooker table because I'm going to beat his butt in a game of golf.
So Jim is no longer associated with the podcast going forward.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, little Chris, Nate is becoming an adult. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, yeah, let's not get carried away, guys. Oh, yeah, I suppose I should probably throw up the chat overlay, shouldn't I? Why don't I do that?
Get out there.
I don't exactly know what I'm doing. So, and then on top of it, of course, I have
Nate
left
is
White
becoming
Carbon.
an adult.
Yeah. So I've actually left White Carbon as well. So on top of that, I've been negotiating with a couple of different companies on potentially working with them going forward. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. And last week, I decided that it would be a good idea to just focus on those things. So we're back this week, and it actually worked out perfect because there was nothing that really happened last week. I mean, we could have talked about the Fedor and Scott Frost matchup that was coming up, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But I don't know. Does that?
We should talk about me playing with your wife. Is what we should talk about.
Excuse me.
Rob will no longer be associated with the podcast either.
It's not going to be long before Nate. It's not going to be long before Nate's just on his own again.
Well, actually, Rob, why don't you describe that? Because you did. You played a pool tournament with my wife. We're going to throw a pool tournament out there, though. Okay.
Right.
And let me before you even go. The first time I ever played a tournament with my wife, the first and only time we've ever played together, I got this little guy right here. We won that tournament, Rob. So knowing that was the first and only time my wife has ever played a tournament with me, and why don't you describe what happened in your tournament?
Oh, we had a great time. We played. It was a 3-person tournament, kind of a funky format where you play a 3-person Scotch doubles to start off the match, and then you play 3 singles matches. Then you play another Scotch. Then you play 3 more singles matches. Everybody on the teams play each other one time, and it's a race to 7. It was really a kind of a cool format, and I got to play with Alicia, who's a beginner player, or Fargo was what, 218, 318? I don't know, something.
218, yeah,
218.
Somewhere
right. But what I saw was a 218 with the fundamentals of a 550. And
higher than that, I think.
She was seriously calm throughout the entire event. Played really good. She individually, she probably pocketed 5 10 balls on her own in the Scotch part of it. So, no, it really was fun. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the heck out of it.
The only thing that I've ever worked on my wife with is for the first year she played, I would not let her hit a ball hard. So, besides the break shot. But if she wanted to hit a ball hard, I would not let her. Honestly, I would not let her hit a ball hard. I would have her roll a ball in and rather get hooked, or roll a ball in and shoot length of the table cut shot than hit a ball hard. And I did that because what is the one thing that players struggle with the most? It's rolling balls in or being able to shoot soft. Yeah. I mean, even the pros, you barely ever see them just kind of rolling balls in. It's it's that punch follow or whatever it is, the stun run throughs. And I wanted her to be able to roll balls in. And so now we're working on her game to actually incorporate some English and, some speed into her game. And she is, you can see in her mechanics that,
she had a shot one time where she had to draw the ball 2 feet for shape for the other guy on the team. And I could tell she wasn't going to do it. She wasn't going to stroke like she was going to draw it. And I went, and we could have one coach. I said, Alicia, remember Nate? He taught you how to draw the ball. Now's the time. and she kind of perked up a little bit and she remembered what he said. She drew that ball back 22 inches. Seriously, just absolutely perfect.
But this was right before she looked you dead in the eye and said, "Bitch, hold my beer," right? she said that, right?
Yeah. Is that what you told her to say?
I was so impressed. When you see beginners play, you never see a smooth stroke, a nice, calm, deliberate, smooth stroke, hardly ever. And that's what impressed me about Alicia, is that she was so calm and that smooth was so delicate and so smooth. And she did roll the balls and really, I felt was way above that Fargo rating for sure. But,
so
a lot of fun.
The time Rob got to play with my wife.
Right.
He hasn't slept since. So that was fun. Jim, do you have anything to announce? Did you do anything fun?
I won a tournament last night.
And you got a new pool cue at it.
Yeah, people are not going to believe this. And I'll just put it away again.
The biggest hater that you can find of anything that's not Predator, basically.
I am now playing. Well, I wouldn't say I'm playing with. I am testing out whether to play with the QTech.
Yes. The SVB Ghost.
I was playing a tournament last night. Won the tournament. At the end of the tournament, people just messing around on the table, and one of the guys said he had a QTech, and he said it just didn't feel right. And I said, well, give me a hit with it. I want to feel it. And within 10 minutes, I said to him, listen, I want it. I think this is quite a good cue. So I'm going to try it out on my own table for a little bit and see how it goes. Never thought I'd be playing with this. I have to say, as nicely as it plays, QTech, please get somebody to design some things for you, because it is the most boring cue I've ever had in my hands. And I like things that are pretty. They've got to play well, but they've got to look pretty as well. This doesn't look very pretty.
Speaking of pretty, we got Fedor.
Fedor. Nice job on your one pocket, by the way.
Hey, Fedor, I'm coming to QTech. But they put a linen wrap on it, which I think they should be putting leather wrap on it as standard, not a linen wrap. I don't know anyone that actually likes a linen wrap. And just put a little bit of color in it. But it plays great. I tell you, this cue plays. I was impressed. I was surprised by how well the cue played. I didn't think it would play anywhere near that.
You don't think the shooter has anything to do with that, Jimmy?
No, not all the time, because I've tried other cues and I can't make balls with them. So, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you found a cue that you can make balls with? Is it one of those self-aiming ones? So the question
anytime you want to play, mate, just let me know.
So
in fact, Fedor, Jimmy did say he's going to put a leather wrap on that one.
Yeah, there's Fedor. I think yes. I think you got to have a leather wrap, and I think linen wraps are very 1980s, 1990s. I don't understand why cue manufacturers still put linen wraps on them. I don't know.
So the question is, Fedor, you want to come on and talk about your one pocket? Because that's about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so, Fedor, come and join us. You must have 10 minutes to tell us how good you are at one pocket and how rubbish the USA is. All those one pocket experts that have dedicated their whole career to one pocket, and Fedor just comes along and robs them.
Yeah, I mean it's wild, isn't it?
It is all about pocketing balls, isn't it, Jim?
At the end of the day, that's what the game comes down to. Don't miss. Doesn't matter what game you're playing.
Any pocket pool game.
It doesn't matter what game you're playing. If you're not missing, you're very difficult to beat.
Right.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you an invite if you want to join in and chat with us for a couple seconds, Fedor.
It's nice to know the moves and all that kind of stuff, but it's best to know how to pocket the ball.
Well, I mean, I guess let's jump in because I didn't watch hardly any of this. I watched a little bit of it, but not very much. To be honest, I kind of expected this. I mean, if Scott is playing all the time and he's an absolute dead stroke, maybe this could have been a match that was a little bit closer. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong on this, so Scott actually listens to the podcast from time to time too. So I'm happy to throw a correction out there if I'm speaking out of turn. But I don't know that he's been playing a ton coming into this, and I don't care how good you think you are at one pocket. If you're going to be stacking up against one of the greatest Q-ists in the world today, probably certainly top three, I would say. I think he fits right in with Albin and Joshua as my top three. You're giving up so much talent on the table from just ball striking. How do you think that if you're not playing a ton of pool, you can go in and just beat one of the greatest players on earth today? So to be honest with you, I could have seen the score even wider than it was. I think what it ended up being, I should probably know this. I guess it was like 25-12. Does that sound right?
21.
21-12.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20. Yeah. So I mean, I just don't understand. And now Chip Compton is, we'll talk about this later on too. Chip Compton said he wants next. I say the same exact thing. Like Chip Compton, I think is a better player than Scott right now, but do I think he's 9 games better than Scott?
No. 3 maybe.
Good luck beat one of the purest Q-ists of the ball that the game has to offer today. I mean, unless Chip is going to be playing his absolute best possible game that Chip can play, I think that there's a match that can be had. I think, it could get close, but do I think that Chip can play anything but his absolute best game possible to be able to win? I personally don't, but we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that in the beginning, I guess. Jim, was there any surprises to what you saw happen?
Maybe it could have been a bit closer, really. But like you say, we don't know how much Scott's been playing.
Chip will rob me.
Yeah, Chip. Yeah, fair.
Jack the bet. Yeah. He's gonna rob you. Jack the bet.
Chip will rob me. Let's get another 20K in the pot. Yeah.
minimum 40K he'll play for.
Exactly. Let's get another 20K in the pot. Hey, fair. I think Scott. I saw a Facebook post from Scott. I think he was getting some negative bashing on social media or something like that. And he was very honest and saying, "Look, I'm not the player I was before. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm still prepared to get in the ring." And that's it about Scott. He'll get in the ring and he'll go at these guys and he'll have a pop at them, and he can find that level that can hang with somebody like Federer. But it's very, very difficult in these long races to 21 to keep that level that high, And he got off to a decent start. I think he won the first 3 or something like that. But then Federer came back and won 6, and then Scott put a 4 on him or something like that. And just as the match went on, Federer for every one that Scott was winning, Federer was winning 2 or 3. And it just sort of went like that.
Yeah, I think it was at one point in time. It was either 6-5 or 7-6.
7-6 it was. Yeah,
that Scott was up. So from there, Fedor wins 15-5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, better than 2-1, almost 3-1.
That's what I mean. For everyone, Scott would win 1, Federer take 3. Scott would win 1, Federer take 3. And it's quite difficult to pull that kind of deficit back once it gets away with you in one pocket. I think because it's such a mental effort to get through these racks. When you're behind, it can seem a long way away, especially when you're chasing somebody like Federer. And it's. I mean, I'm not. I would love to talk to one of these guys that like Scott Frost and Chip, who have already taken a bit of a hammering from Federer, and the guys that played them at the Derby City. When he snapped off the one pocket at Derby City. I'd love to get in their heads and know if they're frustrated by the fact that this is somebody who would probably be considered as being a bit of a one pocket novice, and he's within 6 months he's just taking everybody apart. Is that Is that a change in the way the game is being played? Is it a natural talent that you can just pick up the shots and pick up the tactics of it so very quickly? Or is it just a case of it doesn't matter what game you play, the better player will always win?
Well, this goes back to what I'm saying. So if you're watching, let's just throw out like an Evan Lunda and Josh Roberts. If they were playing each other, Evan and Josh will leave each other shots that you're you're leaving them hoping that they take them on, but they, you know good and damn well that they just never will, right? It's a dumb shot to sell out. You're shooting a shot. You're shooting at one ball to get 4, something like that. And if you miss the ball, you're selling out 7. You're teasing them into doing these things because you know that in the long run, they might make 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, but you win those other 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, whatever it is. Name the shot on the table that Fedor has a look at that you don't think he's 60% to make at this point. I mean, unless you're playing on like 3 and 3/4 inch pockets or something like that. What is the shot that Fedor would take on theoretically that he's not going to be a huge favorite to make? I can name a lot of shots that Chip, Tony, Scott, Evan, Josh, all these players that, they're just, you're talking about somebody who's like a special cueist, and no shot is too tough. No positional play is too tough.
But that's my point. Is the game not important anymore? Because let's say everybody played one pocket. Would a Chip Compton, would he disappear if everyone played one pocket? Would the fact that it's one pocket, would that make him a better player on the ranking than on a 9-ball ranking or a 10-ball ranking or a whatever ranking? Would he be higher up the ranking because it's one pocket? I'm starting to wonder whether the game even matters. It just seems that it doesn't matter what game it is, the same people are going to win.
I would personally push back on that strictly for Chip, because honestly, I think that Chip has more talent than Tony and Chip are not only great one pocket players. And Justin Hall, I think, is another player that fits into this category where they are just like special cueists. The difference with them is not whether or not they can compete with the best in the world. It's whether or not they're going to be able to stay motivated to want to do that and go to these events to get in the box and play. I don't think you're going to find too many people in the world who are going to argue that even like Chip is less talented than, let's say, a Tyler Steyer. Like if Chip played as much as Tyler did with all of these events, I think he would have some really good results. I think Chip is plenty talented enough as a player that, so then use it as like a player, like maybe like Scott, instead of Chip, because I do think that Chip can be close to a world quality player if he had the discipline and the work ethic that it would take to get to that point.
Yeah,
but I guess
part of this whole thing, when I look at the games, the difference of the games, when you play one pocket, you're rarely, if ever, playing winner breaks. It's always alternate break in any kind of ratio.
If anything, it's loser break.
Or that, but most of them are alternate. You alternate the break, and that's kind of a big deal. And now you have to weigh the amount of mistakes you're going to make in the game and how well you know how to play that particular game or not. Guys that play one pocket all the time, that's the game that they know how to play the best. Not that they can't shoot the balls in the hole in other games; they probably can, but they're strict. Like Tony and Scott and Chip and they focus on the one pocket game.
I feel like the moving becomes less and less. To your point, Jim, I think the moving becomes less and less important. So like the big thing where Scott got his advantage over all the players, let's say 10 years ago, is he moved the balls so well. He's going to get you in that spot where it gets funny, and he's eventually going to grind you down into a mistake. And that's a lot of what that one pocket was, that really old school level of one pocket is you tighten the noose a little tighter and a little tighter and a little tighter. And then eventually somebody makes a mistake and you run 3 balls off. You play a good safety and you grind them down again. Now, the best players in the world, they'd grind you down into that first mistake, and then they'd be able to run 6 and out, 7 out, 8 and out, whatever it is. But for the most part, that old school level of one pocket is just never taking a shot on until it's a 95% shot and just getting them 3 at a time until you win the game. Of course, the highest level of that is different, but the players now, we saw this with Joshua Filler playing Tony Cho, and we see this with Fedor. Like, it's not about that anymore. It's about just getting out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Have they these old school players, or these, we call them one pocket purists? I'd love to know what they think about, because it seems to me that these guys are playing a different game now. They've almost changed the way one pocket has to be played, and that happens in all kinds of sports. You see it throughout all sports. You see it with tennis. You see it with everything. That somebody comes along and just changes the way you have to play the game in order to be competitive. I was just wondering whether that's happened with one pocket now.
Yeah, that's a good observation, Jim. That's a pretty true statement. All in all, over history, one player will come along, change the game. I heard that in Frankie Torres, a national 3-cushion billiard champion in his late 70s, now said that in the 50s in 3-cushion, there were players that came along that absolutely changed the game. It was really a defensive game up until a certain point in history. Then all of a sudden the game became offensive, and everything changed after that. Yeah. And that holds true in pocket pool, I believe, too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I to be honest, I'm probably not qualified. I know the game of one pocket for the decent amount, but I don't know it at the intricate enough levels to talk about the evolution of it and where it's going. I mean, maybe I should. Yeah. I don't know. Reach out. I should probably reach out to Tony, and maybe I can get Tony and Scott on the same podcast, or maybe like a Josh Roberts and I know I can get Tony Cho to talk about it. Maybe I need to bring them on and let them talk about where the game is, where it was, and where it's going.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Maybe Fedor's just a one-off. He's a hidden one pocket genius, and he had to play the game to find out. I don't know. I mean, the guys that you would talk, like the top rotation guys, the likes of Albin, Filler, Jason, the Shane. You don't really see them playing one pocket that much. They'll have a crack at it at the Derby, but you don't see them playing big money matches, kind of thing. So you never really see them playing. So I honestly couldn't tell you what kind of level they play at. I've no idea. I would imagine Filler's going to be good at anything he does with a cue. So I can't imagine it's going to be much of a difference for him,
One thing I noticed about Chip's one pocket game when I watched him in a couple of matches was I haven't seen too many better at back cutting full table length bank shots. The touch, not only the accuracy, the direction of the bank, but the touch on it. He's premier at that shot, and that's a critical shot in one pocket. If you have that shot, there wasn't even Tony. I don't think could outdo him in that back cut bank category.
I mean, Tony's a special banker.
He's good at it too. But what I saw Chip when he ran out a couple racks, and he banked back cut like 5 out of 6 shots in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Well, let's transition this into, I guess, assuming that it doesn't fall through, because nothing's set in stone until both players are flipping the coin to start the match. But if Chip Compton plays Fedor, let's say the same exact format, race to 21, what do we think? Do we think that the Chip can get there?
I don't think so.
Based on recent history, don't think so. I think Fedor's just.
He might give him a better race.
I don't know. Again, I really don't. I don't know what's happened. Fedor just seems to have taken to this game like a duck to water, And there was a comment on here earlier saying that Fedor can't beat Tony. I mean, I don't know what that comment's based on. I mean,
I don't know that.
How do you make Tony 100% favorite to beat Fedor if they play each other based on what's happened? I mean, does Tony win 21-12 against Scott? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but I mean, Filler took Tony apart. Why? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
he played a completely different kind of game.
Yeah.
He just went out there and played one pocket like nobody had ever seen before. It's like even Alex Haley, who's a massive one pocket fan, he said, "I've never seen anybody play one pocket. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's running the racks."
Well, Alex Laley and I did the commentary for that event. So Alex and I were on the call the entire time, and we got to the point where it's like, there's no way that they'll take the shot on. We know that they will, but there's no way that they will. And also they're going to do it. Like it's like the shots that Tony and Josh were taking on, and not only taking on, but executing at a high level, where I'd never seen one pocket like that. And
the thing is, when your opponent starts doing that, for somebody like Tony, if he's playing against somebody like Filler, and he thinks he's going to attack every single shot, doesn't matter what I leave him, he's going to attack it. You start to think, I can't leave him anything, so I'm going to have to attack myself. I have to have control of the table. I'm going to have to attack myself, and it creates a whole different game. Swinging. You know, you don't get this up table game because it's not mattering. They're just banking everything. You know, or going for the shots anyway. You know, it's like, whoa, crazy. Yeah.
It's nuts. I don't know. I think if they played tomorrow, Rob's got his little Rugrats running around in the background. He's playing Grandpa. I think if they played tomorrow, I mean, how can you not make Fedor the favorite? And I know you could be, guilty of being prisoner of the moment, but from what I just saw, like I'm not the only players in the world that I'm not taking over Fedor in one pocket right now is Dennis and Alex probably. Tony, I would avoid it with like a 20-foot. I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole. Like I would avoid that at all costs. I would load up on Alex or Dennis, and other than that, like I think Fedor's got to be the favorite to anybody else. Who else in the world can beat Scott 21-12? He's not what he was 10 years ago, but Scott Frost is still arguably a top 5 and
he'll still
player in the world.
Even if he's not playing at his top level, he'll still make you work for every single rack and every single ball. So you've still got to be mentally involved in the match. You know, you've still got to be working hard to get your opportunities. Whether he takes his or not is a different thing, but you have to work for yours. You know,
when Molina Mike was doing the top 5, I mean, Scott Frost got a lot of votes in the top 5.
I bet you Federer gets in most people's top 5 now.
Yeah, probably. We'll see if he does it again. If he plays some more one pocket, some more challenge matches, and in a year we'll have a conversation again.
But this is actually one. Yeah, I don't want to say good thing. It's more of a sort of cause of what's happened with Federer getting banned from certain tournaments because of what's happened, obviously, in Eastern Europe. We've seen him play different events and play play different games now, because all his time would have been tied up, or most of his time would have been tied up with the 9-ball ranking, playing in the Predator 10-ball. Of course,
he would be in the World Games.
Now, World Games. So he wouldn't be playing all these one-pocket things. He wouldn't play. So we're getting to see another side of Federer. And this is going to make him a better player.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that makes you a better player is playing everything.
Yes.
You play all these different things. You start playing some one pocket. You start playing some banks. You're going to notice these improvements in your rotation game and in everything else. Federer's going to be a better player because of this. So watch out, because when this kid comes back and he gets himself back in these rankings, he's going to cause a lot of damage.
Well, look at Mike Panozzo mentioned Bloomdahl in this World Games. Yeah. He's in the World Games in that. And there was at one time he came in like in 3rd in Sweden in a pocket pool tournament. Yeah. And world champion, world-class 3-cushion billiard player.
Yeah.
So it made him great doing both things.
Federer's had to suffer a little bit as far as missing out on a few events in the last 2 years. But he's going to reap the benefits from all the other stuff that he's been doing. And,
for sure.
It would have been easy for him to just disappear and sit in his bum for 2 years and do nothing and feel sorry for himself. But he's gone out there and he's found the tournaments he's allowed to play and he can play in. And he's been kept active and he's been learning different games, and he hasn't let it get him down. So, good on him.
I'm going to throw this up there because I got 2 announcements to make, I guess, as far as the Fedor side of things. You can see here that Fedor is leading the money leaderboard, having played no major events. He is $25,000 clear of Filler, and I don't know that this has the money that he just won off of Scott. So You're talking 25,000 playing a bunch of rink-a-dink tournaments across the U.S. And of course, there's some that aren't. Of course, Derby City is not. But
I was going to say a massive big chunk of that is Derby City.
Was it? I mean, what do you think he made? 60,000 there at the most.
So you go half of it. What's he got there? I can't even read that. It's too small.
150,000.
Okay.
But I don't know that includes the Scott part of it, because I think that's where he was last week too. So I think this, of course, gambling. It's hard to throw that in there, right? Because how much of that was his? Yeah, how much of that was his? But this goes into like how much is off the books, like stuff like that. I mean, who knows? But well, click on his name.
It'll show you.
Okay.
We'll have to find out how much he paid tax on.
Yeah, right. So Frost versus Gorst, one pocket. All right. So it does show in here that's that. So Derby City, he made 20,000, 36,000. Okay, so a little over $50,000. So
nice.
So his one pocket matches do count to his total.
It does. It shows right here. So
that's a bit that shouldn't in my opinion, that shouldn't really, because like you said, you don't know how much of it is his own money.
Right. Well, maybe it's all his. Maybe that's why it's in there. Who knows?
Yeah, but you don't know. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to show while we're here is he actually created a website, and I think it probably deserves a little bit of a highlight, because who else is doing this as a pro?
Oh, that's wonderful.
So he's got on here his biography, his tournament schedule. So you can go down here, his mission. I don't know, biography, so you can learn a little bit more about him.
Mission statement. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he's got some pictures in here. He's got a little marketplace, so you can buy a signed photo or a signed ball, which is pretty cool. And then he's got his tournament schedule on here. So how cool is this, where you can actually see his tournament schedule? So theoretically, if you're in one of these areas and you're like, oh my God, I want to meet Fedor Gorst, you know exactly where he's going to be.
Or go play.
Pretty cool. Highlight to his sponsors on here. His blog, he's actually typing out things of what he's doing at each of these places. My first long race of one pocket. This is his blog, his mixed feelings, something, I don't know. You'd have to click on these to find out. Sure. That's kind of a funny picture. But and then you can find ways of actually reaching him. I just think that that's a really cool thing that, it would be kind of cool if more players did that and, marketed themselves a little bit better.
Do you have one of those?
Well, I have one for the podcast.
Oh,
does that count?
Okay. Not just a personal one.
No. I'm not nobody wants to know anything about me. I'm just a clown. Fedor's a real person. So I just thought that was kind of a cool thing. And of course, that's FedorGorst.com. So pretty easy stuff. I'm sure he's not the one that's actually doing that. I'm sure somebody's managing it for him. But the fact that he put it together and the fact that he has all those opportunities on there, who cares if you hire somebody to do something for this, or you find somebody to do it for you?
Exactly. You're probably better off to do it. At least you get a decent product. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was pretty neat.
That is neat.
So let's go into a hypothetical situation off of that. So let's just say that Fedor beats Chip. They play that Fedor beats him. Is Tony then able to stop him? What do you guys think? Or do you just end up going to the point where Alex and Dennis are the only people who have enough firepower and the Q ability to be able to keep up with him?
Well, he's not going to win every single one pocket match he plays. It's not going to happen. Sooner or later, somebody's going to beat him. One of these guys is going to win. They're going to have a really good set.
In a race of 21, I think the better player's always going to win that for the most part.
I don't know. With alternate breaks, I do not know if that's so. Really, I do not know. How you break the balls and you have you lose 2 of your own breaks, so that you could be down 4. After that,
the break just means so little to these players, because they're so easily able to get out of these break traps.
Sometimes
they're just
very, so easy.
Very, very, very rarely when I'm watching one pocket do I feel like the break actually turns into the reason why somebody won or lost a game. Because at this level, you got to be breaking 6 and 7 out, and if the break isn't leading to 6 and 7 out, you're going to have to end up moving back and forth. And I just at the amateur level, I feel like when you're making 2 balls at a time, if you can get the first person to have a scoring opportunity to make 2 to 3 balls, I think it ends up becoming a lot more valuable than who cares if you spot a pro? You know, who cares if Fedor spots
when
Scott?
all said and done.
Well, I mean, they do keep the stats, and generally speaking, it's almost 50-50 for the most part on whether or not you win or lose your breaks. I don't know, Jim, do you have any thoughts on it? Do you think Tony would be the one to stop him, or do you think that he would just be another hurdle all the way up to the best of the world?
I don't know. I mean, they keep saying here, one pocket's one of the most technical. There's so much to learn playing one pocket. You've got to really learn the game and know the game. Federer's been playing it for such a short period of time, in my opinion, that if this is the level he's at now, and if it's really true what they all say, that there's so much information, there's so much to learn about the game, there's so much. What has he learned then? Probably 10% of what there is to learn. How much better can he be? How much better can he get? Is a Dennis and an Alex who know everything about the game, and who would probably be a 60-40 against Federer just now? How long before Federer just says, well, now I know just as much as you guys, but I'm just a better player?
Well, I think he's already there for Alex, but I think Dennis is the one person who can cue the balls at his level.
I don't know. I haven't seen Dennis play that much one pocket. I really don't know. I don't know enough about the game to watch somebody playing it and say, what you're doing is so much better than what Federer does or whatever anybody else does. All I know is that Federer gets himself into matches and he crushes people. Has he lost a match? No. Anyone ever seen Federer lose a one pocket match?
Literally ever?
Literally ever.
Literally ever. Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, that's a stupid question, but
why? It's either a yes or no. Have you ever seen Federer lose a one pocket match?
Well, the reason I think it's a stupid question is because, of course, he has. Played one. But then,
what do you mean? Of course, he has. Who was it against?
Well, this is it. Like, of course, in general, that would be a stupid question.
My knowledge of Federer was I never even knew he played one pocket until he turned up at Derby City and put himself in one pocket and then stuffed everybody and won it. And since then, he's taken out the top American one pocket players. I've not seen him lose one.
Yeah, just one. I mean, honestly, I don't know that he ever has lost. I mean, I don't know if he was at a redraw. I'm sure he probably didn't have a redraw when he won the one pocket, but maybe he did. I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
did he play?
So now Chip wants
one pocket at Derby.
I got no reason to believe that Chip's going to do any damage to him either. I mean, he might do. I don't know enough about the game. Maybe Chip's. I don't know. I just don't see. Nobody's even coming close to the kid. It's crazy.
What'd you say, Rob?
Did he play Darren in one pocket in the Derby?
He did, yeah. In fact, Darren was like the only
third place or something.
Darren was the only person that actually had a redraw, and twice in a row, there was 3 players left, and he was the only person with the redraw, and he drew, I want to say Fedor, and then Justin Hall? Josh Roberts got the bye, and then the next time it was Josh Roberts versus Darren, and Fedor got the bye.
Yeah.
So Darren makes it to the finals if he just is lucky enough to get one of the buys.
Yeah.
Or if he wins one of those matches, and not only did he not get one of the buys, he lost both matches.
Yeah, maybe he won a game in both matches, though, I believe.
I think he lost Fedor. No. I think he lost to Fedor on the hill. I don't remember what happened with.
He played great. He played really well, Darren, that tournament.
Oh, he did. I
again, not somebody that I would associate as a one pocket player.
Not at all.
Josh Roberts, yes.
Yeah, but, Darren's a rotation player, not necessarily known for one pocket.
But he's a smart
player. Here
player.
again, you got a guy who can pot balls right and left out of the blue.
So yeah, Fedor didn't have a redraw, so he at least lost one match. Who was it? But I mean, to be honest,
whoever it is should be a superstar, because at the moment he's the only person to have beaten Federer any sort of one pocket match.
He's got a plaque at home saying that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stupid question, because if you ever ask a question, has he ever been beat by someone ever? And then it's not a stupid question because you don't know that you actually can name anyone.
No, that what I said. Do you know of him ever losing a match? Is what I said to you. Yeah. But anyway, Chip's got his work cut out for him, I think.
Yes.
Based on form and the base of the way things are. Does Tony have a chance? He'll get closer than Chip or Scott.
It depends how it goes.
I mean,
how the games go.
The guy, he's just an absolute machine. Really.
He is a potting machine for sure. Him and Joshua are both potting machines.
And but it's also the position play. You leave them one open shot, they manage to make the rack out of it. Instead of just picking off one or two balls and not taking any risks, they get a shot on the first ball and they think, "How do I get out here?"
Yeah, you can't assume because you're leaving them one open ball that they're not going to run out.
Yeah, against a lot of other players, you're thinking, okay, this might cost me 3 balls. Against them, you're thinking, if I leave him one shot and he splits his pack on the right side, I've lost this game. And they will go for the shots. They will try, where other players maybe don't.
Yeah, Chris has got a good question here. He asked Jim, do you think Straight Pool will get that attention again sometime in the future that One Pocket's getting right now, or some of the rotation games?
Well, Straight Pool has had a little bit of attention recently. Let's not forget that. John Schmidt broke the record, and Jason Shaw broke the record, and that got a lot of attention. Straight Pool's a great game. I would rather watch Straight Pool than I would One Pocket, to be honest. But I have more of a connection with Straight Pool. It's something that I do play as well. One Pocket I just don't play. Same attention. I mean, I'm not sure One Pocket really gets a massive amount of attention. I mean, we're talking about it because the match was just played and there's not really a lot else that's happened this week. I think Pool in general just needs more attention. That's basically it. Pool just needs more attention. I don't think it really matters which discipline it is. Straight Pool get this kind of attention. I think it's had more attention really than One Pocket over the last couple of years, if I'm being honest.
For sure. Since John had his record and then Jason broke that, since then, for sure now it has some attention again. And
Matt Paul says that 14-1 attention recently is the high run hot dog eating contest.
Now it's
well, fair enough. It doesn't matter what the attention is.
Yeah, maybe
if you're not impressed by 714 balls, I mean, sorry, but I don't think you're ever going to be impressed then.
Maybe what we need to do is in the middle of a 714 run, Jason Shaw has to choke somebody out. That happened in the hot dog eating competition. Just do that. Jim, what are you doing coming up? You wanna get choked out by Jason?
Do I want to get choked out by Jason? Why?
While he runs 700. Didn't you watch the hot dog eat? Oh, you probably don't even know what the hot dog eating contest is in the Netherlands, do you?
I'm assuming it's just a load of fat people sitting down and trying to eat as many hot dogs as they can within half an hour.
Pretty much.
Oh, it's not even a half hour. I think. What is it? Is it like is it 20 minutes? I don't even know what this is.
But I'll tell you what, the world champ, the champion in the US, female champion, she's not very big. Trust me.
No, well, she's not.
She's a bit of a thing.
So, Jim, if you had to take a guess what the world record for the most hot dogs eaten during this competition, what would you say?
In 20 minutes?
Man, this is. I don't know if it's someone in the comments.
Standard size hot dogs.
Standard foot long hot dogs.
120.
120 hot dogs?
You think somebody guess?
Well, that's a bad guess. I think the world record is right around 70.
Huh.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
Is 120 such a bad guess?
No, it wasn't bad. A little high, not bad.
BS Jim. Why is Eve telling me BS Jim? Bet you can't even do 10. 10 hot dogs. I wouldn't even try and do 10 hot dogs. I eat proper food.
I would not.
I don't eat processed rubbish. I eat proper food.
This is a regular hot dog.
I don't know.
And somebody put here, Matt Paul, in One Pocket of street cred and high stakes pro gambling and musty pool halls. There's a foundation under it. 14-1 doesn't have. Well, I'm not entirely sure. I think 14-1. You ask people like Mosconi and all those guys, and Minnesota Fats whether or not 14-1 has credibility in musty pool halls. And let's not pro gambling. That's two words that don't go together. for a start, in my opinion. Pro gambling, that's for poker players.
Yeah, he touched a nerve there.
A professional pool player and a gambling pool player are two separate entities.
Oh, yeah, Jim. So 10 minutes, Seth White knows everything. He's a smart guy. It also includes the bun. So I think it's like...
You got to eat the bun as well. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
The bun would fill you up. Yeah, the bun would fill you up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
somebody ate 70 hot dogs with a bun in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, you can't eat 7 hot dogs a minute for 10 minutes.
World record for most hot
Nate's
dogs.
looking it up. Here we go.
I think we should have a contest in Vegas. I'll tell you what, Ryan, I will do a 10-minute beer challenge with Nate.
I will not win that. 76 hot dogs. Joey Chestnut set the world record
with
10
buns.
Minutes.
Yeah,
with buns.
76 hot dogs.
He must have been a joy to live with that
Joey
night.
Chestnut. Yes, it is.
His wife must have enjoyed lying beside him that evening.
Well, this year in the competition, there was in this competition. This is what I was talking about earlier with the choking out part of it. Was in this competition they hold it on the July 4th every year, and somebody like ran up in front of Joey Chestnut, the guy who has a world record, and held up like some sign about some protest. I don't know what it's like, animal cruelty or something like that. And Joey Chestnut, while shoving a hot dog down his throat, grabs him like this and chokes him out until someone grabs him while shoving hot dogs down his mouth.
Oh, here's one for you, Jim. You could be the first official pool player to run 50 balls and eat 50 hot dogs at the same time.
Yeah,
I can't eat 50 hot dogs without playing pool, and I'm very rarely that I run 50 balls.
Nobody'd ever even challenge that. They would just go.
That would be a way of getting into the Guinness Book of Records.
That would be a weird. Look at all the crumbs on the table and everything. It'd just be a mess.
Well, tell me this. Tell me Florian Kohler doesn't look like he could swallow about 30 hot dogs. Get him to do some trick shots while shoving hot dogs down his mouth.
Oh, Florian, you look like you could swallow a hot dog, Florian.
All of those people. All of the people that do
these
are like,
has he got one of those mouths, Nate?
We opened up the box
Shut
of
up, we love
crackers
Florian.
here, baby, with this one.
Shut up, we love
Florian's
Florian
going to
Kohler.
get on this.
Oh, Florian, you look like you could swallow a hot dog.
Florian could do this. He could do 20 jump shots and 20 hot dogs in 20 minutes.
We've gone off track here. Should we talk?
I think a bit, yes.
Our viewers have gone up, so I think that this is
that's it. We've been making a mistake about talking about pool too often.
Yeah, clearly what we found out is nobody cares about pool.
Nobody cares about pool. They care about hot dogs. Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that you get around here.
You could lay them on the table and like massé shots around them. You know, like a 2 hot dog massé shot. Or
you're not putting hot dogs on my table. That kind of behavior get you in trouble.
At least not without a large amount of ketchup on them, right, Jim?
Get off my table.
That's how you could teach your little daughter in the future how to play. Just put a little piece of a hot dog on the pool table and have her go after it, and then throw a ball.
All right. I'm getting control of this. I agree with Jim. This is stupid. All right, let's move on to we should talk about I want to talk about my special that I'm running this week in case nobody saw it on Facebook. You can get yourself one of these sweet jerseys and one of the hoodies that Rob is wearing, plus 3 patches and a window decal for $100 this week. This is my I'm buying a house, I need a down payment special. That's what I'm calling it, the bundle, the Nate's down payment bundle. So if you want yourself one of these jerseys,
the onboard jerseys are nice.
One of those hoodies, and 3 patches and a window decal. It's $100, 100 bones, and you can even get them customized with your name on them for an extra $10. Front and first name on the front, last name on the back for $10 extra. You can do that too. So if you want one of those sweet deals, yeah, there you go. Jim's got it on there, and he's got it.
I got one this weekend. I wore it golfing. It was great.
Yep, I wore pants golfing. It was miserable. Anyways, so if you want one of those, reach out to the podcast, reach out to me, reach out to any of us, and we'll get you squared away. Okay, let's move on to the World Games. And Jim, you wanted to go on a big old rant on this, so why don't you get us started with it?
So, pool doesn't get into the Olympics yet. Everybody wants pool in the Olympics, but what's the biggest event that they all want to play in then when they're talking about representing their country? They want to play in the World Games. Darren Appleton, for example, one of his proudest moments was winning the World Games. They're all over Facebook. All the players are delighted that they're going to be representing their country and they're going to play in the World Games. They're going to Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. They're all excited. It's great. We're sitting at home. We're thinking, "Ooh, one of the biggest tournaments of the year. We'd love to see it. Can we watch it anywhere? Anybody? No, I don't have a clue of. They're not even an illegal stream. Not even somebody with a camera phone pointed at the table. There is absolutely no way to watch this. At least when the World Championships was played out in the sand bucket in Qatar, at least it was two really crappy streams, which if you were lucky, you could see a little bit of a match. Can't see. Oh, here we go. Schedule. Yeah, okay, Matt Holland, that's the schedule. But yeah. Is there streaming? Who's taking care of the streaming? Can you watch it? I haven't seen anything. Nothing's been on Facebook. I haven't seen anything advertised.
From what I was told, there is so just like the Olympics goes on and they show some of them at some points. They don't show every single race of every single event of every single blah, blah, blah. They basically take the ones that are popular and they highlight them. So I know that pool will get some shine. I just don't know exactly when or where. But there is like just
Olympics.com website and app.
Yeah, it's not exactly. I was messing around on there earlier today. It's not exactly easy to use, but the information is there if you dig long enough. So
I wonder if the players know, because not normally the players come on, they say, "Okay, I'm playing tomorrow, blah 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 blah, bracket here, live stream here," and they send links. But it seems like nobody has a clue what, yeah.
If the World Games is held in the woods and there's
nobody there see it.
That was pretty funny, man.
That's funny. I don't think Gord. I don't think I can go there and stream it. I don't think that like these are all going to be with there's somebody who buys the rights to this event. I mean, just like NBC buys the Olympics, NBC buys the rights to stream that event. You can't have Fox or MSNBC or any of these CBS. You can't have all these other people go there and stream events at it because NBC holds the rights. So I wouldn't be able to go and just stream it anyways. I mean, I'm a nobody, but that doesn't change the fact that some company bought the rights to streaming this and
nobody knows who it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know that NBC has the streaming rights to the Olympics. So I don't know. I got no idea. And to be honest, I don't even know that there are results that you can find anywhere online. I mean, I'm sure there probably is, but I searched around for a little while today and couldn't really figure it out.
I do know that one of the first round matches is Tyler Steyer against Joshua Filler.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a hell of a first round match when you consider some of the players that are in the draw.
Yeah, there's a couple players in that I've never even heard of, and I'm sure
that you get that, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. When you're talking about every country gets to send a representative, then you're always going to have one or two countries where their level is just not very good, and they're going to end up sending like sort of average players to it. So that's okay. That you have that in an Olympics as well. I mean, we all remember the Olympic Games where we've got like Eddie the Eagle, the ski jumper, the British guy who'd never jumped off a mountain before, and he's the first Olympics, and the Eric the Eel who almost drowned in the swimming pool trying to swim the 100 meters, and the Jamaican bobsleigh team. I mean, you get these kind of things, and that's kind of part of these kind of things. That every country gets a representative, and if your country only has one guy who's ever owned a pool cue in his life, then he's going to be that representative. So sure. Yeah, give him the opportunity. Yeah, why not?
Well, if you look at the U.S. representatives, I mean, I don't know exactly how they decide this, but there's got to be some politics involved, I would think. I mean, if the five I think Monica Webb and Jennifer Beretta, they nailed it exactly right. Those are the two best women, I think, in the U.S., and it's not. I don't think that it's close. On the men's side of things, could you come up with three better players than Hunter Lombardo, Tyler Steyer, and Shane Van Boening?
You'd probably come up with 2. Maximum of 2. You can come up with a maximum.
Yeah, I mean, we can all just let's just all just remove Shane Van Boening. Obviously, he's the best player. Obviously he's there. So the last 2 players, if the U.S. is going to get 3 men representing them, how many times do you have to run the iterations to come up with Hunter Lombardo and Tyler Steyer?
Okay, but do we know if there's any qualification requirements that gets you in the team? Is it based on any sort of ranking? Is it based on anything whatsoever?
What rankings?
I didn't hear anything about that.
To be honest, I don't know. I should know, but to be honest, I don't know. But what rankings exist in the entire world of Forever, in the history of Forever? Blah 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 blah. That Hunter Lombardo is
those 3 at the top. Yeah, true.
There's no rank,
and not even Tyler. Like I'm okay with the idea of Tyler being there. It's Tyler plays in everything. Absolutely everything. So if there is a rankings that he would theoretically be on, I could see him being there because he's going to get more bullets than anybody else to be on that. With that being said, what has Hunter Lombardo done that would justify him being selected over Sky Woodward or
Sky says no?
Chip Compton, Josh Roberts, Justin Hall, Justin Bergman, Billy Thorpe, Oscar Dominguez. I mean, how far do you need to? How many players?
Shane Wolford, yeah.
Shane Wolford, Nick. I mean, even a player like Nick DeLeon or
Nate Mindham,
Earl Strickland. Rodney Morris. I mean, how far do you need to go down to where you think that Hunter Lombardo is supposed to be in there before that? And I'm not trying to like dog on Hunter Lombardo. I just don't know why or how he or anyone else got selected for this.
You'd have to ask. I mean, I don't even know who's responsible for the election.
He might have an in with the hierarchy.
Who are the hierarchy? Is it the BCA?
I have no idea
who chooses the team?
I'm just guessing.
I mean,
Matt
the World Games or the Olympic Committee will go to each representative, every country, and they'll go to a representative and say, we need a selection from you. Who is it they're actually approaching to say we need a selection from you?
And even removing all of that, don't worry, Matt Poland will jump in soon and give us all the answers. He always knows everything, which is perfect. We need you. But which organization? Okay, so if that's true, and there is some organization that does this, name me that organization that chooses Hunter as its representative.
Yeah, but okay, we'd have to ask that organization. But who is it?
Sure.
Well, the point is name me any organization that would
Games.
Name me any organization that would choose Hunter over Billy or Sky or
so Ryan maybe they said no. Says, the criteria is established by the participating international sports federations. Okay, so who is the International Sports Federation for the USA pool?
I mean, I will say Hunter Lombardo has won a college nationals. I think he's actually won 3, but that was a long time ago. I think he's won 3 ACUI national college championships. But Robbie, you're shaking your head like that's not true.
No, I really don't know. I have the record.
No,
I have the record up until 2000, so it could have been between here and now and 2000.
He has, yeah, he has. He's won 3 ACUI college national championships. But if that's the case, then so Mike is saying the BCA. How in the world can BCA justify choosing Hunter Lombardo? Is what I want to know. Billy could be banned. That's true, but
maybe it's on looks.
Billy's
it's on personality. Maybe it's on
Billy's banned if it's a WPA event, which I'm assuming the WPA is involved.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
But Skylar, I could imagine this being something that Skylar would say, "No, I don't need to be doing this. I don't want to, whatever." I could imagine that. But it's in Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, it's not like they have to go to Asia and have a big. It's ranking. How can it be a ranking? Ranking based on what?
What ranking is there that has Hunter high enough that? I suppose it's got to be WPA. It's got to be the WPA.
What's his Fargo? Like 750, right? Hunter's Fargo?
Yeah, but Fargo's never a ranking. Fargo will never.
Yeah, that's not going to be a ranking.
There has to be a WA ranking, a WPA ranking. It's certainly not the Matchroom ranking. It's none like that. It's.
I'm not trying to like dog on Hunter for being in there. It's just like Hunter doesn't play as much as this. I mean, Hunter barely plays in events, and Tyler plays in every single one of the events, so I could see how he could be at the top of some rankings. But Hunter plays like the U.S. Open and the Whirlpool Championships. Like he plays some the big Matchroom events and a few of the Predator events, but like he doesn't travel as much as Sky. Or
it sounds like Hunter was a bit of a last minute replacement. Mike's saying that Kachi pulled out. There was no other European option at short notice, so they've given it to American. And he probably maybe Hunter was just the first and best option that was able to commit to playing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
so Hunter's the same Fargo number as Demetrius, pretty much.
But yeah, Tyler's second on the ranking. What ranking is Tyler second on? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as Mike says, Sky never travels. Sky doesn't travel this year or since he's had a kid, but I would assume that these rankings aren't just based off of the last year. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, there's just not a lot of transparency in any of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's
right. But they're there.
Hunter's there.
They're there. Let's wish them all the best. I hope they do well.
Yeah,
tough match for Tyler to start off with. I'm assuming it's double elimination. I'm not sure. Again, haven't seen anything. Haven't seen a bracket. I don't know. Is double elimination? Is it 9 on the spot, 1 on the spot? Is it even 9 ball? Is it break? I know nothing about it. What tables are they playing on? Yeah.
Well, they definitely market the event, not the individual events. So
single elimination. That's tough action. Yeah.
It's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah.
Name me one sport in the entire world that has double elimination besides pool. I don't know. I think it should be a
Soccer World Cup.
Darts.
You can lose it. You can lose at the Soccer World Cup and still win the World Cup.
Yeah, but that's not double elimination. That's
well, you're getting multiple chances to qualify.
Well, yeah, but once you get to the final bracket, what is it?
Once you get to the final bracket, then you're knockouts.
Yeah.
So that's the same kind of thing that pool happens. You get multiple chances until you make it to the last 16, and then from there on, you're.
So, I don't know. I hope Hunter makes all of us look like idiots and snaps it off. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'm rooting for him. I think that if we could get USA towards the end, that'd be amazing. But is there an individual tournament and a team tournament as well, or is it only individual? I think it's just individual, because there are some countries that are only sending one person.
So they're all going there for potentially one match. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So,
I believe that's the 3 cushion. Also, there is just one match, single elimination.
But I mean, that's like all of it's contemporary sports, like tennis.
Well, that's fine enough. Yeah, you have those situations in all sports. Yeah.
USA better hope it's not a team tournament.
Yeah, they don't have the best record in team tournaments, do they, Melina? Yeah. Bet you bet against them.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's. I think they got the women right. I don't think that you can have two better women represent the U.S. than Monica Webb and Jennifer Beretta. I think those are the top 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty clearly. Assuming Monica's got over her injury. She had some shoulder problems, I believe it was, the last tournament she played. Assuming she's over her injuries.
She breaks the balls at 35 miles an hour.
I was going to say, stop hitting the ball so hard. Jesus Christ, the noise it makes as well.
When we were doing it,
she hits it as hard as any lady on the tour. Yeah,
harder. Yeah, and she's like 5'8", 130 pounds.
She weighs about 40 kilos. The power she gets in it, crazy.
Smashes. I mean, when we were doing the women's the women's VG9, when she broke the balls, like I could feel like the lights in my house shaking. She
crazy
smashes
the power she put into it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess looking at the men in the men and women, what do we think? It's nice to see that the Philippines has
Biado.
No, I'm blanking on her name now. I need to. Oh, crap. Anyways, we'll just skip that because wait, I'll get it. Oh my God, this is so hard to use. This website is so difficult to navigate. Anyways, it's good to see that there's some people that are traveling for this, and the names are always nice. I guess I just wish we could actually watch them, and
Well, let's hope that calling out to all you players who are playing there. Go and ask some people if you see a camera hanging up somewhere. Go and ask where it can be watched, and please post the links on Facebook so we can all watch you play. Because it is a big tournament. It means a lot to these players. Why is nobody watching it? Why are we not getting the
opportunity? I think Pinozo might know the answer. He's there. We might just.
He'll be there. Yeah. Hey, Pinozo, sort it out. Do something useful for once in your life. Find us a stream link and stop drinking.
He posted some pictures of some players there that he's talking with. So
he's found a cocktail bar. He's not going to see any pool.
So here's an interesting thing that we can talk about. I think that this is true. If you don't add new games into Fargo rate after 2 years, it actually removes you from the list.
Oh,
the number one women's player in the world right now is Kelly Fisher at a 761 Fargo, because all of the Chinese Taipei players
have fallen off.
And even the Filipino. So that's interesting.
They don't care. None of them care. Promise you.
No.
Pinozo's there for multiple sports and multiple drinks. Yeah, I know the multiple drinks certainly, Ed.
The female player from the Philippines, Ruben. She's at least signed up to play in this event. As far as I know, this is the first time she's ever actually came to the U.S. to play, because we had talked about this a couple weeks ago on the podcast that we've never actually seen her travel outside to the U.S. to play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Simming Cheng's off the list as well, is she?
Yeah, Simming's not on there.
Because she was over 800, wasn't she?
Close to it. I think she was like a 798. So I don't know. It's I know the website is impossible to find the schedule of who's actually playing, which means that there's also zero chance of results being on there. So basically we're relying on Tyler and Shane and anybody else who's there to update us with what's happening in the tournament.
Yeah. I don't know if you answered this already to Gordon Kerr, who's representing Canada. I think it was John Mora and Brittany Bryant, I think.
Yeah, Brittany Bryant.
There. Yeah. There's only two of them there.
I believe that is true. I don't think that Alex...
No, Alex didn't go.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Seems like probably if we had a proper media side of things on pool, like we would be able to have access to them, but we don't.
Well, next year, maybe you'll get invited to be there, and
I don't think that this is a yearly thing. I think it's like every
4 years.
4 years, yeah.
I think so. I think it's the same kind of thing as the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, I just didn't know it was as big a deal as it was. It seems to be
because it's something that only comes around once every 4 years. It's not a lot of people have ever won it. So it's
Sure.
quite a thing to win now. I know. Yeah, like I said before, Darren Appleton was very proud of the fact that he won it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. It's like the tennis players playing at the. It's not the biggest tournament of the year.
Sure.
But the Olympics for them was only once every 4 years. And Federer was gutted that he'd never won the Olympic Games. He wanted that individual gold medal. You only get so many shots at it in your career. So it might not be the biggest event that you can win, but it's quite an elite event to win.
Right.
Well, I think Matt Poland actually asks a pretty good question there. Should the BCA and WPA be spoon feeding us resources for this? Why wouldn't they be? I mean, I know that they're not a media organization, but do they care about the growth of the sport? Like, especially if BCA is in charge of picking all these players for? Why wouldn't they be doing things? I don't know. Let's run a test. Let's go to the BCA's Facebook page and see if there's a single thing on there. This could be fun. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. Maybe they are spoon feeding us things and we just don't know about it because we're not following those pages.
Why can't your shop be part of your
Good answer.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we got to be.
I mean, at the end of the day, you've got a web page, whatever you want to have it. You've got your own site. Social media is how information is passed now, and if you're not active on social media and you're not passing your information on through social media, then you're missing a massive audience, and if you want to give people the opportunity to know that I never see anything on Facebook about BCA or a BCA Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, they're not active. WPA are not active on social media either, just because they've got their own web page. Or I don't know. You can just do more. Simple as that,
Sure, I agree there.
I think there's a lot of people can do more. I mean, there's a lot of Q companies, manufacturers that could be doing a lot more on their social media and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. The WPA has plenty of posts leading up on who's going to be competing, and then they posted yesterday about today's is the official practice for all billiard players, and then you can see
That's
the practice
three-cushion billiard players, right?
No, it's everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they call pool players billiard players too. So,
okay.
And then it has the training schedule for everybody, so you can go in and actually see which player is playing at which time and when they start and when they stop.
So that's all good if you're actually there on site watching the event and you plan on being in the crowd. Then that's all very useful.
Yep.
Right.
They have made no posts today about any of the schedules on when people play. So, I mean, I guess to answer Matt's, I want everybody to spoon feed me everything because that means I have to do less work as far as research.
Please do.
The biggest problem with the pool industry is not the people who do put the information out there to be found. It's the people who should be that aren't.
Yeah.
This is not one of those situations. Like this is not the WPA or the WPA is not an organization that should be putting stuff out and isn't. This is what I mean by that is like we've had it in the past where organizations or people will put on things, events, and then they won't even post what happens during the day or what happens afterwards or who's playing next. Like they literally are just a black hole. If you don't watch the streams, you have zero idea what happened. This is not one of those situations. This is just somebody doing, going above and beyond. I think we all should be doing more, like you said, Jim. But do I want to be spoon fed? Heck yeah, I do, because that means
it's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward for us. We're supposed to be talking about pool, and this is a subject matter, and we don't know anything about it. What's going on?
We'd like to be able to next week. Next week, we'd like to be here, same time, same place, telling you about all the action that we watched at the World Games and how it was fantastic it was, and how good the setup was, and what the results were, how everyone played. But all we're going to know is who beat who and who won it, and that's going to be it. So we're not going to be able to give you any sort of, we're not going to be able to talk about it or have any sort of back and forth and discuss how it went. So I guess at the end of the day, all we're doing now is just looking forward to the European Open now, and that's it. The World Games kind of doesn't exist as a pool fan, really. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out who won and what the score was over who else, but like as far as being able to do a full bracket, we
always got the hot dogs in our back pocket. You know what I mean? So
we always got the hot dogs.
We can't give up
hope. I mean, I can even remember. I'm sure when Darren Appleton played the final of that, I'm sure I watched it. I'm sure the finals.
I'm sure the finals will get coverage. I'm sure it will. But will the first match between Ecuador and Peru be on there? Probably not. Will the first match between Tyler and Joshua be on there? Probably not, because the people who are putting this on don't know who either of them are.
Don't know who they are. Yeah,
they don't care, right?
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all joking aside, I mean they're not moving the needle based off of pool, right? They're going to be moving it based off of popular sports. At the end of the day, pool is going up, but it's not there yet. They're still going to. Oh my goodness! Okay, I got to tell you guys some of the sports that are going to be covered during this World Games.
Oh, it is some real weird ones. That is the
There's
World
some good
Games.
ones.
World Games is pretty obscure. Yeah.
So something called wushu. I don't know what that is. Tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
Sumo. That's fine. Although I bet Japan wins that. Just a guess.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the country that can eat 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes would have a fair chance of winning a sumo match.
Fair. Racquetball, sure. Sambo, I don't know what Sambo is. Korfball, what is korfball?
Korfball is, I know what korfball is. Is that not the thing where you've got that big kind of hooky looking thing? You catch the ball and you throw it back against the wall?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. You're the one who said you knew what it was.
Yeah, I think I know it. I do know what it is, but I'm just not very good at explaining it.
Casting. So casting is a sport, apparently.
That's got to be fishing.
Yeah, I think Shane is doing double work.
Shane is there for the casting. He's not playing in the pool.
Yeah. Bowls sport. I think that's bowling. Maybe, I don't know.
Not your 10-pin bowling, proper bowling.
Sure. Baseball, softball, cool. Air sports, cool. Aikido. There's some pretty good things on there. I don't know what half of them are.
Oh, highlight, he says you're talking about.
Jaialai, yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah. Well, what's korfball then?
I don't know. Jim, I said I didn't know what it was to begin with.
You're
kind of looks. I think it's tetherball.
Highlight is pretty exciting, actually.
It kind of looks like tetherball.
Huh. Fistball.
Court.
I want to watch tug of war.
Was fistball. Tug of war was one of the very first. The original Olympics, the very first Olympics. Tug of war was like the main event. Tug of war should be brought back to the Olympics. That'd be great.
I would love to watch that, but I want to see them. I want to see them being. I want to see there to be an actual repercussion for losing. Like I want to see you get pulled into like
a pit of snakes.
Or scorpions, or
just a big pit full of feces. Something like that. You get pulled in a big swimming pool full of jobby. Something like that. There you go.
Yuck. Jim, I know what Jim would be doing next in 4 years from now. Then he'll be taking up tug of war. He's into that.
I'll be filling the pit.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, do what you're good at.
Korfball is like a 360 basketball court with no backboard and just a hoop. Oh. I wonder if Steph Curry's good at it. Anyways, all right, this is going on. This is just
1.5 inch bat. Yeah, that's nice.
Right, I'm done because I've got to feed a baby and I want to practice a little bit with my new cue.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to get out of here because I don't want to look at Jim's face anymore.
Yeah. Then I want to go play.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that, Jim. I mean, I did mean it, but I just wish it didn't sound as bad as it did. But I do mean it, just so you know. Oh, that's rude. You went too far, Jim. Okay, one last pitch. I guess we're doing the maybe Matt Poland wants one, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. We're doing Nate's down payment on a house bundle. So it's one of these sweet jerseys. It's one of those sweet hoodies. Show it off, Rob. One of those sweet hoodies, and then you're going to get 3 patches and a window decal. It's $130 worth of gear, and you're going to get it for $100. Plus, you're actually going to get a 1 in 20 chance at winning a free white carbon shaft too. So what we're doing is everybody who buys one of these, I'm going to throw you in a 1 in 20 chance. And if there are 20 people, then we are guaranteeing to give away a white carbon shaft. If there are, let's say 8 people, there's going to be 8 winning tabs and there's going to be 12 losing tabs, and whatever ends up happening. But you get a 1 in 20 chance of also winning a free white carbon shaft too. So get yourself one. It's going to be awesome.
They run a little bigger, Ryan, than what you know.
Well, they run longer. So it's
they're definitely longer.
The size is pretty true. The size is true. The size is true. The length is long.
It was a little long.
Yeah. Because they're designed to be tucked in. So they're longer than normal.
They are real cool in the summertime. Trust me.
They're nice.
Really
So,
nice.
Matt Poland, you said maybe you wanted one. Reach out to me if you do. If anybody else is interested in one, reach out to me. We'll get you hooked up. Other than that, yeah, we're good. Let's get out of here, Rob. What do you think?
Sign off. See you, folks.
Okay. Bye-bye,
Shoot 'em
Jimbo.
straight,